I thought you were going to start it.
Yeah, I did hello, and you're just like...
Yeah, but you're meant to start the whole thing.
Hello, welcome back to Better with Spice. See, and you just can't help but laugh. I literally, I don't know why.
I'm laughing from before.
Welcome back to Better with Spice. We're your Spice sisters.
Coby
and Viv. Anyway...
So we're going to do an episode all about the Kindle.
Nice segue. Yes, this week... Okay, no. So last 2 weeks have been quite fucking
intense,
heavy, honestly. Even me editing it, I'm like, I'm sad.
Oh, damn.
I'm like, this is heavy, editing and then...
What we should have done is split the...
Yeah, we should have done heavy and then a really smutty episode.
Yeah,
and then heavy. Anyway, so yeah... I mean, this episode is after the smutty episode.
Yeah, so
which is a good segue because a lot of smutty reads are on
Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah, so today we're going to be talking about everything Kindle. And I guess Kindle versus paperback. Why? Actually, you know what? I actually do get this question a lot whenever I share book stuff on my...
Whether or not Kindle is better,
and also what Kindle to get.
Oh,
which is weird because it's there's not that many options, but it is even between us two, we're which one do we get? There's so many.
I think now that I have gotten mine, I want to talk about whether or not I feel like it was the right choice.
So here are all the different Kindles that you have, from what I can see. This is on Australia, Amazon, by the way, so it might be a little bit different on US, but you have the Kindle 2022 release, which is the smallest, most basic Kindle, 6-inch. So I think this would be the original size that we both have, but just an updated version. And that one is the lightest and most compact Kindle. That's what it says.
And it also comes in blue.
I know, I just saw. Then you've got the next one, which is Kindle Paperwhite. And it comes with 16 gigs with a 6.8 inch display and adjustable warm light. So this one is probably what I say we would recommend most people would get.
Yes.
Kind of the middle size. You get a slightly bigger screen size, and I think the Paperwhite is nicer. The paper itself is the screen paper is nicer. I think the basic one might be a little bit different. Our old one is kind of off-white. I don't know how to explain it. The screen color is yellowy tinge or something.
Yeah.
And then I think the next one up is the Signature Edition, Paperwhite Signature Edition, exact same size as the normal Paperwhite, but with 32 gigs with wireless charging and adjustable front light. Then you've actually got a side one, which is the Oasis or something.
With the buttons on the side.
Yeah, with the buttons on the side, and it's even bigger. It's 7-inch, but it's got a extra border on the side where you can scroll one-handed reading, so you don't have to tap, which I think some people enjoy because they like to read with one hand. But I personally feel I wouldn't go any bigger size.
That's too big, I think.
Yeah. So.
And the last one is the Scribe, which is also the notebook.
Yeah, sorry. That just, to me, that's just a bit what is that?
Like an iPad.
Yeah, it really is like an iPad. Why? What are you taking that much notes for? If you're going to take that many notes, you might as well just, you might as well actually just buy a book. Or an iPad.
Oh,
yeah.
An iPad. All right, okay.
Anyway, so they're all the different ones that you can get. And so you recommend...
I recommend the Paperwhite. I think the Paperwhite is... If I was to go back, I would tell myself to get just the Paperwhite. Don't need the Signature.
Interesting. I feel I mean, what's the price difference? I guess it's almost
I remember it's not that
I think when we were buying it because it was on Prime, it was discounted, and I think you were saying it really isn't that much. I think it was $50 at that time. So you're might as well just get but regularly it's actually over $100 and
No,
$20.
It's $30. So paper
30.
white is
Oh, shit,
$2.70,
yeah, it is.
and then signature is $2.99.
Yeah, for me,
so it's
I'm like, you
$30.
might as well.
Yeah, I remember having this discussion.
You get
and it's
double
like
the
you
storage.
might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't regret the one I have. But
No,
if
no,
you're
no.
going to,
But I guess if you were like, if there was a sale only on like the regular
Yeah.
paper white, then buy the paper white. You don't
Yeah.
need to wait for the signature.
yeah, just the paper. I think paper white and above.
Yeah, well, for me, it was like, I don't use any of the features as well, but for me, it purely is the size, like the storage size, yeah. Because I just read so much. Like, if
Yeah.
I'm reading 140 books,
Yeah, maybe a couple of years it'd be like
yeah,
full.
and like every book, unless you're on Kindle Unlimited, stays in your library. So unless you go in and like delete them, like
Saves.
you probably won't need to with the 32 gigs. Like,
Probably never.
like sometimes maybe you might in a couple years, but like you just don't need to worry. Yeah. So maybe we should just start with
What Kindles do we have?
yes, and then what Kindles we have. Yeah, okay. Well, we both have the exact same Kindle.
Yeah, so we have the Kindle Paperwhite, the signature edition.
Show
So,
us the stickers.
so this is the more, I guess, like advanced.
I think this is
edition?
the
top
most
of the line
expensive.
one.
Yeah. The most expensive, but with is it 32 gigs?
Yeah, 32 gigs, and I think the difference is that it has the like auto adjusting light.
Oh yeah.
And
you should know that.
also
Does
I
it
think
not?
it
Does
has,
the others not have that?
I don't think so. And also it has wireless charging. I think that's the three differing factors.
Wireless charge, and I think in some versions, I don't know, like I don't think the Australian version, but in some versions you can like Bluetooth your earphones and it plays it back like an audio book.
Oh.
Yeah. So I think
well,
that was like a big one. Obviously, like if you don't know, you can buy them on Amazon pretty much, is like where you can get most of them from. Otherwise, I think a lot of like participating stores sell them.
Wow.
I think so. I don't know.
No, I guess like Big W,
Yeah.
Office Works, like that. I think also
Target,
they
all
also
that
do
stuff,
have it. Yeah.
But I think the US version, they were saying that this like you have to pay extra for like an ad free.
Oh, the ad-free,
And I was
yeah.
like, fool, like what is this ad
Yeah.
business? Like you're already spending so much money on this Kindle. What do you mean you get ads? And,
Yeah, like,
does
why
a,
would you
a
wanna get
game just pop up
ads?
like on you?
But and it's also, I think it's like probably the only winning factor like we've ever had in Australia is that
We don't have ads. Yeah, so if you buy the signature edition, you don't have ads. It comes with 32 gigs, which doesn't sound like a lot, but actually is like pretty much
Yeah.
a lifetime of books you'll never have to worry about.
Yeah, you'll never go over like even the 8 gigs or whatever in the lower model, like you don't. You'll never use it.
So I guess you came from because we both upgraded the Kindle,
Yes.
and
I
think
came from like I think
yours is like
my,
out of charge.
mine is like my old
I
one is
can go.
super old. I think mine is like the it's the Paperwhite. No, actually it wasn't even a Paperwhite. I think it's like 2013, and this one had it. I think it also had like 8 gigs, but I never ran out of.
Okay. Well, my
Storage.
one is the Paperwhite 10th edition. It has 6 gigs, and I've almost used up the entire thing based on this. So
That's actually impressive. How do you have 6 gigs worth of stuff in your Kindle?
I don't know. Maybe it's just all that
Smutty
dirty
books.
reads.
But like, do you
dirty
use your
books.
Kindle for audiobooks? Can we do that in Australia?
No, that's the thing.
Oh,
Like, you
okay.
can't do it with the. I think you can with the US version maybe, but I think it doesn't support it with the Australian version. But yeah, like I think coming from this Kindle, like obviously the two different. I mean overall, I think it's the same. Like you and I have the same pretty much Kindle in terms of size anyway and weight.
Yeah, the size is the same.
Yeah,
I think
yours feels a little heavier than mine though.
the reason why I upgraded is because it's like part of the screen is actually cracked, like on the inside, but I also found it so slow to turn the page.
Yeah.
And like if I was like searching anything in the library, and when you type in the name in
It was
the
like,
search, yeah, it was literally driving me insane. So I think,
But you have had it for a long time.
Oh,
so
a
like,
really,
that's
really
like-
long
yeah, yeah.
time. And then, I saw the Kindle sale and I was like, oh my
The
God.
Prime,
like,
yeah,
I'm
Prime
getting
Day.
that. Yeah.
I think like I actually at the start with this Kindle, I took a long time to get used to the weight and size.
Interesting.
Yeah, like because I actually felt this older Kindle was
Yeah.
really nice to hold. Like I can hold it really easily in one hand, and like reading in bed is easier. Like because you can like kind of like lay on your side and it's like not heavy.
True.
Whereas this one, you have to have like a pop socket on the back.
Yeah, I think if I didn't have a pop socket, it would have like, I would always be dropping it. And I do agree. When it first came out of the box, I was like, oh shit, like it's actually
massive.
pretty big. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's
and it was heavy.
Yeah, it is heavier. And I think it's only like, it's not even that much bigger. It's not even like a centimeter bigger. But it
like you can't see, but
a lot bigger.
like it doesn't. Yeah, I mean, a couple inches make a difference.
It's not even half. It's not even a couple inches. It's not even an inch.
Oh. I was like trying to make a sexual joke and I was
know.
waiting for you and you're just like, no. And I'm like,
I got it, but it's not even an inch, so the joke is not valid.
yes. So we have the signature edition. What else?
So I guess like maybe let's go into the reasons of like why do you prefer to read on your Kindle over like paper books?
Yeah, so I think you and I, when I first started reading, like I'm talking about when I was in like high school, it was obviously Kindle wasn't like existed.
Yeah.
So we always grew up on like paperback, right? So it was like the normal thing to do. And then I feel like with Kindle, I think I got this like ages ago, right? But it was like kind of like a cool thing to have back then, but you wouldn't read, like, I don't know, there was like a flex of like bringing the paperback out so people could know what you were reading. You know, it's like, oh, you're reading Twilight. Like,
oh my god.
yeah, you're
so
like, it was always like, everyone was like, oh, you're bringing you're bringing a book to school. Like, oh, you're so smart. Like, you're
Is
reading.
that a thing?
Well, that was for me.
Oh, okay.
Especially during Harry Potter season and Twilight season, because you like, it's kind of like people want to know. You wanted people to know where you were up to in the series.
Oh,
you know?
okay, yeah.
But ironically, now I don't allow anyone to see what I'm reading at any time. I'm like, don't you even look?
Don't look at me.
Yeah. But I prefer the Kindle because I read so fast now. Yeah, and I feel like it would make sense for you because you read like 5 books at a time. Like, it's not like you can carry 5 books in my bag. Yeah. But yeah, I feel like it's just a no-brainer that you would, if you're someone who likes to read,
to own a Kindle.
Yeah, like you would.
Yeah.
Just like,
and I find it like from the very beginning, like I was very precious with my books. Like I was always like, oh, like I don't want to like bend the corners or like, you know, crack the spine or whatever. But I feel like that all of that fear like goes away when you're using the Kindle. And like, so for example, if I'm brushing my teeth, I can read at the same time and I don't have to be worried of, I don't know, like I'm going to drop it and like it falls into the sink and gets wet. But if I was holding like a book in my hand, like, you know, have you kind of have to like, yeah.
And if you don't want to bend it, you got to read it like this.
Yeah, like I feel like the reading experience is much more casual and it makes more, I think it makes reading more accessible than reading a paperback because like I'm not someone who sits and read, like I don't have time for that. So I think that's why Kindle is the preferred for me because it's convenient.
I just feel like even if someone's like, oh, like I don't really read that much but I want to get into reading,
Get a Kindle.
to me I'm like, just invest in a Kindle because you're, by not investing in like Kindles obviously are like a luxury because they're not cheap, you know.
But
like,
I wouldn't say they're expensive.
no, but like for someone who's probably like, oh, I just want to
everyone-
read like
yeah.
a few books, like the popular books right now, I kind of want to know what they're about, but like, you know.
Yeah,
But like
okay.
if you buy the book, they're also, these days books are so expensive because back then it didn't used to be as expensive, but now it's like sometimes slightly cheaper to buy on the Kindle. And then it also could be on Kindle Unlimited, which is what we're going to talk about in a second. But I feel like, yeah, like if you're buying physical books, you then have to worry about how much space you're going to like.
Yes.
Yeah. And then some people will be like, oh, you can just like borrow them from the library. But I'm like, if you borrow it from the library, it's like not your book.
I love borrowing from the library because like I hate having clutter in my space. So I would rather borrow from the library than buying a physical book. But then the con of borrowing is that you got to wait. Yeah, so like
And then you
just
might not
wanna
have
read.
it that, like usually it's what, like a week or something.
Yeah, you don't have that long to read
Yeah.
it for. So I think like I find the Kindle it's almost like it gamifies like the reading experience in the sense of, okay, so if you don't have a Kindle right now, so on the Kindle itself, it will actually show you an estimated time to finish either the book or the chapter. And I find it
Your
super
chapter, right?
motivating. Yes.
Yeah.
Motivating to beat the time. So if it says like 10 minutes to finish a chapter, I'm like, oh my god, I finished it in like 8 minutes.
Yeah, but does that mean you're reading like?
Yes, it does. It does. But like I think like that also makes the reading experience like a little bit more fun as well. And it's like, you know,
Like
you read
something
more.
that I probably miss between the Kindle and the paperback. I don't read a lot of paperbacks, so the only couple of paperbacks that I currently own are like books that I really really like, or like the one that you gave me, you know. And they almost like for me a coffee table book. Like I don't even read them. I just let them like sit pretty.
Yeah.
And I've tried to read a paperback, and I just like I can get into it, and it's like kind of cozy and stuff. But to me, I feel like I mentioned this before. Like I read slower.
Yes.
I don't know if it's just the physicality of turning a page or like the way the words are on the like screen. But what I do like miss is like note taking.
Yeah.
It's just not the same when you highlight on a Kindle. I mean, you can do like different colors and stuff, but it is nice to have like, I don't know, a physical part of a book. It's all tabbed. Like I can never get into that like book era of
like the tabbing and the annotation. And like I feel like the writing of the like typing a note in the Kindle, it's also because it doesn't autocorrect or anything. So sometimes I type the note and I'm like, what the fuck does that say?
And also you have to go back, like you can't really go into your book and look at like
like just
your
flick
notes.
through,
They have like another separate book that shows all your highlights, and it's like every highlight that you've done.
But like that's so like irrelevant.
And but they don't even put it in like book form. Like it's
so
like
it's
that's
like,
what frustrates me. It's like
helpful.
it will say like, for example, Magnolia Park's page, blah blah blah, and whatever like we highlighted. And then, but if you like, for someone like you as well, if you're bouncing between books, I think it's in chronological order.
My God,
so then it would be
terrible.
like thriller, blah blah blah, and but not in like Magnolia Park's book, all the stuff that you highlighted. The only way you can get all the stuff that you highlighted is on the Kindle app on the phone.
Okay.
So then you can go on the phone in the Kindle app. You can go into highlights while you're reading the book and see all the highlights but not on the Kindle. It just doesn't
so
make sense to me.
useless.
It's so sometimes when I'm like trying to tell you a quote, I can't even like look at it. Like I can't find it unless I'm looking at it on my phone. But that's like a minor issue. Like it's not a huge.
Yeah. But I find like there's something so, I guess it's like easily accessible or satisfying about like, especially when you're reading a book together with someone else, like if for a book club to read and like you flick through and find like the section, I find it to be so, I guess it's kind of, it feels like a group experience if you're like, you know, looking through and you're like, oh my God, yeah, I felt that too in that section. But like in your Kindle, you're like, oh, wait, hold on. Like I need to go to like this section. Oh, wait. Oh, you guys already moved on.
Yeah, exactly. Because they like the chapters in the Kindle are obviously the same, like chapter 15, 16 and stuff. But if you're saying like, oh, page like 312 on the Kindle, they're like, that's not the same page on the book. So it's like, no, I know what you mean. But yeah, that's kind of the only con for me in terms of a Kindle, because there's just way more pros than cons.
Oh, I agree. But and also I guess the con of the newest Kindle is that it doesn't fit in the Lululemon belt bag.
That's so specific.
Like it is such a specific thing, right? But like I will bring my Kindle everywhere, and then like, so you know, like the reason why I know it doesn't is that when I go to coffee with a friend of mine, I always bring it because it's like at a cafe. Well, it doesn't fit in my bag now, so I got to buy a new bag. So.
I think the Coach bag. There's a Coach bag I think that fits it, but I actually don't know if it fits the Kindle like our size or the regular Paperwhite.
Because I don't feel like this is really like a handbag size.
No,
like
it's actually quite a big.
Yeah,
it's honestly not. You can't hide it.
This is not. Yeah, it's not a petite.
No, it's not petite. It's definitely like a. I would say like for readers who read. I feel like if you are someone who's just reads like leisurely, then the original Paperwhite of the newer edition of this size is more than enough.
I think like if I actually saw like a YouTuber that I really like, she actually reviewed all of the newest, and then she actually a couple months later returned it and went back to the old one. Like I would think that that's a smart idea. Like, I don't
We
hate.
can't do that though. Like is it a US?
Yeah,
Yeah, because they can like buy all this stuff from Amazon and
then
use it
just,
for
like,
ages and say, "Oh, I'm gonna return it." And I'm like,
but
"What do you mean you
yeah,
used
but
it and
you
return
used
it?"
it already. Yeah.
I'm like, that concept is like not
so foreign.
existent here. Like, no, we can't. We get like sometimes even if our receipt is like 1 day over, they're like, no, you
no
can't
more,
return.
no more. Yeah, sorry.
And
It's
I'm like,
what?
what? I just like I'm exchanging. I'm not even returning.
Yeah.
Like I'll just take a credit note at this point. But they're like, no, sorry. And I'm like, please, like. But here, people out in US, like,
Yeah, so
bloody sleeping with their
used
Kindles.
this makeup already, but I'm gonna return it.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean you returned it? Like the only like here, it's like, okay, you can return used makeup, but only if he's given you like some kind of reaction or something.
Yeah, or like if it's literally been like 1 day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But actually, Mecca,
They do send, yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
literally just recently learned that, and then I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "Yeah, if if the shade's not right
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah.
like you've tested it or something, you can just bring it back." And I'm like, "Well, how do you know how much I've used?" Like,
yeah, like they say like minimal use, but like I guess it's not like half the bottle.
yeah, it's like, "Oh, nah, I don't like it," and
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
it's
it's
like-
like empty. It's like I don't know where it went. Dog ate it.
But like,
Anyway, sorry, tangent.
Yeah, major tangent. But I think, okay, so what about the question of like, who would you recommend this Kindle to? And like, do you regret getting this Kindle? The latest
No, I
signature?
don't think I would regret it because of how much I read.
Mm.
So this one, I just feel like as long as, because I feel like I've had the small Kindle for like ages, like possibly 10 years or more, you know, whenever this was out, pretty much. And it's lasted me through then. And it technically still lasts me. Like the battery drains a little bit quicker than normal, but it is more than like, as in it is still like works perfectly fine, just a bit slower, but only when you're typing, not when you're tapping the screen. So yeah, like I said before, this signature edition, which is not, I think the only difference between the signature edition and the one below, like you said, is the auto brightness and the
wireless
size,
charging and the storage.
But this, I think the size is the same, right?
yeah, there's physical size.
Yeah,
is the
and then
same.
there's also one below that, which is the basic model, where it's like the most cheapest one, I think 8 gigs or something.
I think it's the smaller one.
Yeah.
Like physically smaller.
Yeah, physically smaller. But this one would be anyone who reads like at least like I don't know, like regularly,
Like a
someone who
avid
just read, yeah,
reader.
like someone who just reads regularly. Then you would want to invest in the signature, because then you just never need to worry about anything really. Like however many books, you just like buy them, download them, like, and it just runs on quick speed.
I think like for me, I personally wouldn't recommend to buy the top of the line signature edition, just because I don't personally have used any of the 3 like additional features. Like I thought that the auto adjusting light would be something that I'll be like all over, but I think I only used it for a week and I turned it off because it's quite sensitive. Like if you walk from room to room, it would change, and it really pissed me off. So I think that's
I think mine's on, but I didn't even realize it does auto. Like, I'm just like,
oh cool. I can see. Yeah, like I think that's the only reason why I would say like just save your coin, like don't go maximum.
So on that note, we're going to talk about Kindle Unlimited.
So
That's a pro,
I guess if you don't know what Kindle Unlimited is in Australia it's $12.
Oh, I'm paying like 14, I think.
I have no idea.
I
Well,
think it's like up now, like 14
Will
bucks.
pays for it.
Yeah,
So
nice.
yeah, I have no idea. So it's basically a subscription service where you get access to a library, and it's a very, very big library. And I think you get to it's like a library where you can check out books.
Yeah, I think up to 20 books.
Yeah.
a
Yeah,
month.
it used to be just 10, and I saw they upped it to 20 books. So yeah, you get to check out 20 books at once.
Yeah, there's no it's not like you can only do 20 at a like at a month.
Yeah,
it's just you can only borrow up to 20 at a time. Yep.
Yeah. And also like it covers like multiple genres. Like there's romance, there's thriller, there's like
everything,
self-help,
really. Yeah.
like there's literally everything. So I actually really love being on this service. Like although I don't think I read nowadays I don't read only KU books. Like I used to only read KU when I first got the Kindle, but I think having the subscription in general is a good idea, because even there are a lot of times when I'm like, oh, I want to read this like very obscure book, and it turns out it's on KU.
Yeah, I think it's really good. Like, I mean, it's not cheap. like, you know, especially if you only end up reading like one KU book a month, you're kind of just like, oh, like, is it worth me paying a subscription for? But sometimes it's really good for like when you say you kind of want to dabble in something that you don't usually read. It's on KU. You don't need to worry about wasting money.
Yeah.
And I know like Kindle gives you samples. Like on every book, it gives you a sample. But sometimes the sample, it literally is like the first chapter.
First page. Yeah. And it's like, that's not the vibe.
And I'm like, how am I meant to know if I like the book? And then you then buy the book and it's like shit from like pretty much when you've bought the book. Whereas with KU, you don't have to worry about like reading 40% in and being like, this is so shit, I'm going to return it.
Yeah, that's right.
And you technically,
There's
it's like
no
free.
guilt. Yeah,
it's a girl math.
It's
fucking free.
Well, it's literally free for me because I don't even pay for it.
True. Can we like pay for mine too? Like, can you just add my account?
Yeah. And I think like I love how there's so many genres in it as well. So you're not like, you can only read romance or like only read, I don't know, sci-fi.
And like, I think some people would think that KU is like all just like Wattpad style books.
It's not.
But really, sometimes I am very surprised with who is on there.
On KU,
and like every
yeah.
month they have like a really big author that would like put some of their books on KU. Like, you know, back then Colleen Hoover was like massive and a lot of her books were on like KU, and then a lot of like fantasy authors or like small indie authors that you probably find on TikTok. They're all like all their books are actually on KU.
Yeah. I think like that's especially if you're a romance reader, I think having KU is the perfect subscription for you.
Yeah, KU sponsor us.
Yeah.
We're like hyping you up so much right now. Like, hello. Like, we're like perfect.
And like I read a lot of thrillers and I find a lot of them on KU. So like I think
even like Frida is on KU.
Frida McFadden is on KU. So yeah, like I really, really think it's good.
Yeah, like I stopped it for a few months and then I was like, oh damn, like a lot of books, like kind of on KU. So then I still have it, and but I would say like, I guess like percentage wise, maybe only about 30% of the books I read a month is on KU.
Yeah, same.
But every cost, you know, like if the problem is sometimes like if you don't want to read it on KU and you are a paperback person, like it's not even available in paperback, you know, so you can only read on the Kindle. So that's already a pro to getting a Kindle, because a lot of these like indie authors or like smaller authors, they don't publish actual books, or they might not be available in every bookstore that you go to.
Or it's expensive.
Yeah,
like,
it's like maybe $25 a book.
Yeah, like if it's not in like Big W, it's expensive, right? So I think having a Kindle is a great option.
So that's and then obviously then if they put it on Kindle Unlimited, it's like
free. Yeah, and also one of my favorite things is to find Kindle Unlimited books which also have the free Audible, which is like the audio book. And like that, like an Audible subscription is so expensive, so I do think having a KU is like, it's just no brainer, I think.
Well, I mean, I like the KU, so I'm the same. Yeah,
so I guess like, what are some book recommendations that like, what's something that you can recommend?
Well, it's kind of hard because I can't really remember like, but I can tell you what's currently on my Kindle Unlimited. Let's go through my library. So like Coby said, Kindle Unlimited, a lot of like, a lot of romance books are on there pretty much. Like smutty romance books. You know,
lot.
The typical like, just a typical smutty man on the screen type books, you know. They're on there, so that's a real like steal, to be honest, because some of these like you can finish in like 2 days and you're like, yep, can just return it, and I think the really like good thing about Kindle Unlimited is that, so for example, I have this book, it's pretty popular, it's by Denvi Perry, and it's her series of like the Eden series. It's like Juniper Hill, Jasper Vale, Crimson River. It's kind of like a kind of well-known TikTok romance series. But I borrowed these, right? Like,
got it from KU.
Yeah, got it from KU from like start of last year when they were on KU.
Oh, they're not on the KU.
And they're not on KU now, but it's like the good thing about Kindle Unlimited is that you can borrow them, and even if they're off, as long as it's in your library, it stays in your library. So
that is true.
You might want to check when you are returning books that maybe you're like, oh, I want a book now, but I've already got 20 books. I need to return one. Return one that's still on KU, because some of these books aren't on KU. But for me, I now technically literally have 3 books for free.
What a hot tip.
Until I want to read it.
What are the books again?
Juniper Hill.
Oh,
Like, yeah, I think
yeah. No,
they
I do
were
know
on
them.
KU for just like a very short month, and then now they're not. And I'm like,
Interesting.
score.
Yeah,
like,
that is such a score. Because, like, yeah, if you wanted to go out and buy them.
yeah, then they will be like already like $50.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, I have them. I have like a Katie Robert, which is very spicy. A lot of if people are into like Omega Verse, you know, like a lot of those like Why Choose, Omega Verse, pretty much everything in that category is on Kindle Unlimited.
Yeah.
So you won't have like issue finding those. And actually a lot of like fantasy like novels are on Kindle Unlimited as well. Like I think we just saw before like Cruel Prince.
Yes.
All that stuff, like they're on KU and they're like big like
books,
big books, like popular books. So yeah, like Kennedy Ryan's always on like
Kennedy
Kindle.
Ryan, Mariana Zapata is on KU. Yeah,
Even,
Colleen
like,
Hoover.
A lot of like ice hockey romance, sport romance.
A lot of them.
They're all on KU. Like literally it's like you're open to a new world of like books because it's brings you outside of just the TikTok like popular books.
And also from a thriller perspective, like there's some really big names like Frida McFadden is on there.
Yeah. I should really get her books while it's still on.
Good. Yeah.
It's just my Kindle. Like, I'm already on 20 books.
Like she might not even be there on for very long.
I know. I need to like, because I really want to read her books, and I always search it up, and I'm like, oh, she's still on there. But yeah, no, I think she's still currently on there.
Yeah, she's still there, and then also
little bits of. Wait, kept by her. Inspired by a browsing history.
Oh god.
Yeah, show us.
No.
Show us your KU. I think that's what needs to be like. We should do a TikTok like video of like exposing our KU like
recommendations.
Yeah, they give you recommendations of like things based on what you've read or like what you've downloaded, like borrowed before. Even Elsie Silver was on KU at one point.
She is still on. One of her series is still on.
Yeah, but
KU.
not the like.
Yeah, not the most popular
I missed
one.
one of them and I had to buy it, and I was like so sad.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Because I was like, damn.
Yeah, and a lot of like novellas, like seasonal novellas, like if you're a mood reader, I think that's a really great.
Yeah, a lot of Christmas and like Valentine's Day, that kind of stuff. Yeah, you're right. Even like Megan Quinn's on there, like not that I like her, but
or like Emily McIntyre, like the Hooked, the Never After series is on.
Oh yeah. Have you read that? It says return. Did you end up reading?
No, I think I just returned it.
I think I had to return it too because I was like, based on all the ones that I have, like which ones do I want to?
Yeah, I think like a lot of them have like mixed reviews.
But yeah, like heaps. Like you literally don't have, like you won't have a problem finding something that you would like.
So I think like the overall, like just to wrap that up because we've been going on about this.
We love KU.
Like KU is amazing. Kindle is amazing. I would highly recommend it. Oh my god, I'm so sad. Like Butcher and Blackbird was on KU, now it's no longer on KU, but I returned it. Well, there you go.
See, so always keep your picks until like even if you don't want to read them, just check that if they're not on KU, and you just got to return another one. Like you just But do you like miss paperback?
Not really. Like
you read the Magnolia on paperback.
Because we were reading it for the book club because I knew we had to discuss it and it's easy to flick back. But like I generally buy a book or read paperback if I am reading it with someone else.
See, like for me, I love the Kindle, but those books that really like I really, really love, I feel like I would want a paperback just for the sake of like having it on the shelf. Not to read it though, like just so that I can have like something tangible. Yeah. And sometimes you can just flick to like a chapter and be like, oh, so sweet. Like this is what I like. Versus like in the Kindle trying to like tap it and find it. Yeah.
I think that's the hardest. That's probably the worst part of the Kindle is like you're unable to find what you need.
Yeah. Unless you go into your highlights book, which is so stupid.
Sounds terrible.
But yeah.
All right.
So I hope that that's a very quick episode. We just kind of wanted to share our love for the Kindle because I get the question a lot, and then I feel like now people would be like, I think we have converted people to be Kindle readers.
Yeah, like I think I have converted many people to be a Kindle reader. So
well, I mean, your husband's a Kindle reader, and
he was actually one before me.
Oh. Okay, well, Alex was like saying that he wants a Kindle for our trip away later. Nice. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll just give you my old Kindle because it still works. But then I was like, I don't like I gotta go clear. Like
I think you can just like
I need
like
to
log out.
unsync
Yeah,
and clear this
yeah.
entire device because if you listen to our smutty episode, you know why. Not that he's like, it will just,
It's funny because
just don't want a man on a cover, like just giving a jump scare,
it's funny because my Kindle account is actually Will's Amazon account.
so
So it's just like every time I check anything out, I'm sure he gets an email. He's like, nice.
Noted.
Nice,
He's got his own like Kindle scribe.
yeah.
But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this little quick episode. I don't know what we're going to talk about next week.
We'll figure out.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
But you just really want to sign off. You're like, all right, okay, bye. Like,
I'm hungry. What else do you want to talk about?
I don't know, but it just feels so like, all right, bye.
Right, unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
No, there's nothing I want to talk about. Well, I don't know. Yeah, okay, cool. Oh, happy.
All right. So happy reading, and remember, life is better with spice.
Cute. Okay, bye.